में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ, बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता
अथाष्टादशोऽध्यायः।
अथाष्टादशोऽध्यायः।
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो
सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो
तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुम्।
तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुम्।
त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश
त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश
पृथक् केशिनिषूदन।
पृथक् केशिनिषूदन।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
काम्यानां कर्मणान्यासम्
काम्यानां कर्मणान्यासम्
सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः।
सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः।
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम्
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम्
प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः।
प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः।
त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके
त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके
कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः।
कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः।
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
न त्याज्यमिति चापरे।
न त्याज्यमिति चापरे।
निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र
निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र
त्यागे भरतसत्तम।
त्यागे भरतसत्तम।
त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र
त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र
त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः।
त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः।
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत्।
न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत्।
यज्ञोदानं तपश्चैव
यज्ञोदानन्तपश्चैव
पावनानि मनीषिणाम्।
पावनानि मनीषिणाम्।
एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि
एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च
कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ।
कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ।
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्।
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्।
नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः
नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः
कर्मणो नोपपद्यते।
कर्मणो नोपपद्यते।
मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस्
मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस्तामसः
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म
दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म
कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत्।
कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत्।
सकृत्वा राजसं त्यागन्
सकृत्वा राजसं त्यागन्
नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्।
नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्।
कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म
कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म
नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन
नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव
सत्यागः सात्विको मतः
सत्यागः सात्विको मतः
न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म
न द्वेष्य कुशलं कर्म
कुशलेनानुषज्यते
कुशलेनानुषज्यते
त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो
त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो
मेधावी छिन्न संशयः
मेधावी छिन्न संशयः
न हि देहभृता शक्यन्
न हि देहभृता शक्यन्
त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः
त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः
यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी
यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी
सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते
सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते
अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च
अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च
त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलम्
त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलम्
भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्य
भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्य
न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्
न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्
पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो
पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो
कारणानि निबोध मे
कारणानि निबोध मे
साङ्ख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि
साङ्ख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि
सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम्
सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम्
अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता
अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता
करणै च पृथग्विधम्
करणै च पृथग्विधम्
विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा
विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा
दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमम्
दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमम्
शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत्
शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत्
कर्म प्रारभते नरः
कर्म प्रारभते नरः
न्याय्यं वा विपरीतं वा
न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा
पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः
पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः
तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम्
तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम्
आत्मानं केवलं तु यः
आत्मानं केवलं तु यः
पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धित्वान्
पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धित्वान्
न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः
न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः
यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावो
यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावो
बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते
बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते
हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान्
हत्वापि स इमान् लोकान्
न हन्ति न निबध्यते
न हन्ति न निबध्यते
ज्ञानै श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीसति हूँ लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots. Turn off notifications, click on that. Click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
सच्चिदानन्दम् वासुदेवम् व्रजप्रियम् धर्मसंस्थापकम् वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna Vande Jagadguru, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A very warm welcome to all the Geeta sadhakas and sevis joining us today. Geeta Pariwar brings to life the profound vision of our Parama Pujya Swamiji Acharya Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, offering us a rare opportunity to study the Bhagavad Gita. Today we are having the sixth and concluding interpretation session of the 18th Adhyaya, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Let us now seek the Almighty's blessings. To recite the Prarthana, we have Shri Uday Panseji with us. Udayji is a retired Assistant General Manager from Nagpur, having completed L1 to L4 Gita learning journey 3 times. Bhayaji is offering Seva as a CT, core trainer. Udayji, Bhayaji, I request you to recite the prayer.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Uday Bhayaji, for the beautiful prayer. Now it is time for Deepa Prajwalan. May the Jyoti lead us from the shadows of doubt into the clarity of light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. We have Shri Ajay Kumarji with us to light the lamp. Ajayji is a retired Indian Air Force officer from Bengaluru. Associate with Geeta Pariwar since October 2025, Bhayaji is giving Seva as a group coordinator. Jai Shri Krishna. Bhayaji, we request you to light the
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयन सुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासाम् वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Ajay Bhayaji. We got to see your beautiful puja place. Thanks for lighting the lamp. Now, a quick announcement before we get going. As we know, the 50th Golden Batch will be starting soon. We can be a part of this beautiful and memorable milestone by registering at http://online.learngeeta.com/golden50. Okay, yes, and this link will also be shared in our groups. Please let us register and be a part of this wonderful journey. And L2 Sanskrita grammar classes in many languages are scheduled for tomorrow. Please join a session of your choice to enhance your Sanskrita knowledge. Now we come to the heart of our session, the moment we all have been waiting for. It is indeed a true privilege to introduce our Vivechak, respected Shri Vikas Vaidyaji Bhayaji. Vaidyaji is a seasoned engineer and management professional with over 27 years of international leadership experience His impressive corporate background includes 15 years as a senior manager with the Tata Group and 12 years as a consultant with the Ministry of Strategic Industries in Indonesia, giving him a truly global perspective. He is also a gifted polyglot, fluent in 6 languages, including Spanish and Indonesian. He also has translated and prepared subtitles in Indonesian and Malay for more than 50 feature films, Indian feature films, released in Indonesia and Malaysia. His deep personal commitment to spiritual discipline is remarkable. He has recited all 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, and he recites all the chapters every single day for over 7 years. And in 2018, he was awarded first prize in the Gita Kanthastha examination by His Holiness Jagadguru Shankaracharya of Shrungeri Peetha. As a pillar of the Gita Pariwar, he is a Gita trainer for all 4 levels and mentor involved in Gita trainer selection and training. He was also guided over 500 participants for the Shrungeri Sharada Peetha Bhagavad Gita examination alongside teaching Vishnu Sahasranama with Pune Gita Pariwar. He brings a rare and powerful blend of corporate leadership, global insight, and spiritual authenticity to our session today. Jai Shri Krishna, Vikas, Vaidya ji, Bhaiya ji. We are all eager. Jai Shri Krishna. We are eager to learn from your discipline, sadhana, and wisdom. Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya ji. The stage is all yours. Yes, Dhanyavad.
वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं A warm welcome to all of you. Last session of 18th Adhyay, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Last time, at the end of the session, we'll cover a brief summary of entire Bhagavad Gita as to what we have learned in entire Bhagavad Gita, right from Adhyay 1, Rajana Vishada Yoga, to this Adhyay, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. So last time we concluded the session with shlok number 64 saying, Sarva guhyatamam bhuya shruname paramam vachaha ishtosi me dhrudamiti tato vakshyami te hitam. Listen again, bhuya. Krishna Bhagavan says, listen again to my supreme and most secret teaching. Sarva guhyatamam bhuya shruname paramam vachaha. Why I am giving this to you? You are very dear to me. Ishtosi me dhrudamiti. So I will speak what is for your highest benefit or highest good. Now, what is that knowledge which God always wants to give to Arjuna? Let us go to next shloka, find out whether it is that Gyan in the next shloka. Shlok 65. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhya jiman namaskuru mami vaishri satyante pratijane priyo sime. Fix your mind on me. Manmana bhava. Become my devotee, Mad Bhakto. Worship me, Madhyaji. Manaskuru, bow down to me. You will surely come to me. Mame Vaishyasattante Pradijane Pirosime. This is my promise. God is giving promise to his disciple, to his bhakta, to his shishya. Normally the other way should happen, no? We should give promise to God that we will behave rightly. God is giving a promise. My promise, because you are dear to me. So Manmana is thinking of me. Mind fixed on me is Manmana. Mad Bhakta, my devotee. Madhyaji, worshipping me. Namaskuru, offering obeisances. Mama eva, to me alone. Single point focus. Yeshyasi, he will come. Pratijane, guarantee, I promise. Priyasi, you are dear to me. So in this shloka, Shri Bhagavan gives a simple yet very profound path to spiritual realization through devotion, bhakti. The instruction begins with Manmana Bhava. Manmana Bhava. Fix your mind on me. The mind is the center of human experience. Wherever it dwells, life follows. जहाँ मन भगता है वहाँ जिंदगी जाएगी. By directing the mind toward God, one gradually transforms his thoughts, his emotions, his karmas, his actions towards God. So first requirement is manmana bhava. Your mind should get fixed on God, then everything will follow. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your karmas, your actions towards God may happen provided your mind is fixed on God. So God is giving that first condition, manmana bhava. Next, Krishna Bhagavan says, mad bhakto bhava. Become my devotee. Devotion here is not mere ritual that you follow, offer some flowers or garlands. but a deep emotional connection marked by love, trust, and surrender. Prem, Shraddha, and Samarpan, surrender. The phrase Madhyaji indicates worship, Madhyaji. This can take many forms. Worship can be of many forms. Ritual puja is one way, prayers, okay, another way, or even dedicated karma action is also a puja. The essence is offering oneself to divine, Madhyaji. Mam Namaskaro, bow to me, symbolizes humility. When we bow down in front of somebody, what we symbolize is our humility, Namrata. Bowing removes ego and cultivates reverence, which is essential for our spiritual growth. Shri Krishna then gives a powerful assurance, a guarantee, a promissory note. Mama eshyasi pratijane. You will surely come to me. This is my promise. Pratijane. This is not conditional or uncertain. It reflects divine certainty and compassion. Krishna's words, can it be doubted upon? This is a guarantee from him. This is unconditional. This is not uncertain. Definite, guaranteed. The reason for this assurance is deeply personal. For Arjuna, Shri Krishna says, Priyo Sime, you are very dear to me. This reveals that the relationship between divine and the devotee, Shri Krishna Bhagavan and Arjuna, is not distant but intimate and loving. Priyosi. In practical life, this shloka suggests to us all, remember God in daily activities. Cultivate devotion through prayer and reflection. Perform actions as you are offering to God and maintain namrata, humility. Such practices gradually purify the mind and bring it closer to the divine. So this shloka teaches us that loving devotion and constant remembrance of God are direct and accessible paths to union with the God. If you want to get connected with the God, loving devotion and constant remembrance are the definite ways to achieve that. Now, this talk is definitely worth doing some meditation upon. As I said, normally, Bhagavad Gita, if it is to be brought in our day-to-day life, every shloka, or at least some important shlokas, which we can change our behavior forever, can bring Gita to our day-to-day activity, to our day-to-day behavior, then we need to do meditation. There is no other way. Now, this shloka, let us do meditation on this shloka. Man manavat mukto madhya jiman namaskuru mamish satante pradijane priyosime. Fix your mind on me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage to me. Thus, you will surely come to me. Truly do I promise this to you, for you are dear to me. So let us start meditation. This is one of the most intimate and reassuring shloka of entire Bhagavad Gita. God is giving a promise to us. After explaining Jnana, Karma, Bhakti, devotion, renunciation, sannyas, surrender, samarpan, Shri Krishna now gives Arjuna a simple path that can be lived every day while living our everyday life. The first instruction is Man Mana Bhava. Keep your mind in me. The mind constantly moves towards the people, possessions, or achievements, or worries, or disappointments in life. Shri Krishna does not ask us to stop thinking. He asks us to change the center of our thinking. While performing our duties, we can silently remember Krishna is with me. Krishna is watching over me. Let this action be worthy of him. The second instruction is Mad Bhakta Bhava. Become my devotee. Devotion is not merely ritual, it is an inner relationship with the divine. So a devotee gradually changes the question from what will I get from life to what can I offer to God through my life. My life is for that only, to offer something to God. What am I offering to God? Third instruction Krishna gives, Madhyaji, worship me. Every action can become worship. Feeding the family can become worship. Teaching a child, helping someone, doing someone's profession honestly, serving the society, even ordinary responsibilities can become puja when performed with right attitude. The fourth instruction God gives is Mama Namaskuru. Bow down to me. The physical bow represents the inner surrender of our ego. That's why in our culture, we touch the feet of elders. That is surrendering to them, surrendering our ego to them, touching feet of elders. That is our culture. It means I may plan, I may work, I may strive, but ultimately you are the Lord. Let your will prevail. Whatever you decide is okay with me, is fine with me. Then comes Krishna's extraordinary assurance. Mame evashyasi. You will surely come to me. Not perhaps. Kadachit vagara nahi. Surely, definitely. Not if you are fortunate, but you will come to me without doubt. That is my promise to you. What more we want? And Krishna adds, Satyante pratijane. I truly promise this to you. This is remarkable. The Supreme Lord gives a promise, personal promise, to the struggling human beings. Why does he give promise? And what does he say? Priyo sime, because you are dear to me. That is why. Can we become priyo si God? If you follow the attributes of Priya Bhakta, which God has given in 12th Adhyay, Advishtasar Bhutanam Maitra Krunayam Cha Nirmanankar Samudakasakshami, 39 attributes he has given in 12th Adhyay. If we try to acquire at least a couple of them, probably there is a chance that we become Priyosime. This should become as the deepest meditation of this shloka, Priyosime. We want to become Priyosime God. I'm not walking through God, I'm not walking towards God alone. God is also calling me towards Him. That is the feeling we should have. I'm walking, okay. That is my duty, I'm working. But God is also calling me, Priyosime, you are dear to me. Can we be lucky that we get this kind of message from God? Priyosime. When the mind is disturbed, remember Manmana Bhava. When the heart feels empty, remember Mad Bhakta Bhava. When life becomes a burden, remember Madhyaji. Turn your work into worship. And when ego becomes heavy, remember Mama Namaskuru. And when fear about the future arises, remember you are dear to me. Priyosime. So sit quietly, close your eyes, take a few slow breaths. With every inhalation, mentally say, my mind is in Krishna. My mind is in Krishna. With every exhalation, mentally say, my life is offered to Krishna. Then slowly contemplate the four phrases. Man mana bhava, let my mind remember you. Mad bhakto bhava, let my heart love you. Madhyaji, let my action worship you. Mam namaskuru, let my ego surrender to you. Finally, remain silent for a few moments and feel Krishna's words, you are dear to me. If we can bring these words only from entire Bhagavad-Gītā or in our antakarana, in our heart, that you are dear to me, this is the greatest reward that we can ever imagine. God saying to us, you are dear to me. Let that thought remove anxiety from your mind, the loneliness and the fear of your life. Then the meditation can be concluded not with the demand from God that I want this, I want that, but with His promise and His love. The essence of this shloka is remember God with the mind, love Him with the heart, serve Him through your action, karma, and surrender your ego to Him. And live fearlessly in the assurance that you are dear to Him. Because if you do these four things, Manma Bhaktama Dyajaman Uskuru then you are become dear to Priyosime. So this is a practical teaching to us as to how we can become dear to God. Okay, next shloka. Now what was that knowledge that Paramatma wanted to share with Arjuna, which he says, Sarva Guhitam Bhuyashtune Paramacha Ishtasme Drudamidita. What was that? Because this shloka what we read just now, Manmana Bhamakto, this has been said by God in the Gita at many places. In 9th Adhyaya also similar shloka is there, isn't it? So that is not the knowledge which he wanted to share now. This is the knowledge which comes in the next shloka. 66th shloka. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो Mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. This is that shloka. This is the knowledge which God wanted to give to Arjuna. Final knowledge from Gita. Abandon all forms of duty. Sarvadharman parityajya. Choda sab. Take refuge in me alone. Mamekam sharanam vraja. I will free you from all sins. Ahantva sarva papebhyo. And mokshayishyama shucha. Do not grieve. Ma shucha. Don't grieve. So sarvadharman, all duties, all paths are obligations. Parityaja, abandoning, letting it go. Sharanam Braja, take refuge, surrender. Mokshayishyami, I will give moksha. I will liberate you. Papebhya, from sins. Mashucha, don't grieve, don't worry. Now, this may appear little ironical that throughout Bhagavad Gita, God says you should perform karma, karma, karma. You should not give away your prescribed duty. Now here God says, Parityajya, choda sab. So it is in contradiction with the earlier message of Gita or what? This is the most famous and culminating shloka of Bhagavad Gita, often regarded as its ultimate message. Because after this shloka, Krishna Bhagavan has not given any new knowledge to Arjuna. This is the last epitome of entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The statement Sarva Dharman Parityaja does not mean abandoning righteous duties irresponsibly. Rather, it means letting go of limited, ego-based understanding of duty and surrendering completely to divine will. This is Sarvadharman Parityaja. You see, we have two types of dharma to follow in our daily life. One is the material dharma, like fulfilling our duties towards our family, friends, society, country, everything. Helping others, earning for family, living a normal life which human being live. That is our material dharma. Second dharma is this dharma, spiritual dharma. Focus single-pointedly on God, continue performing spiritual sadhana to attain Him. This is spiritual dharma. When God says Sarva Dharman Parityaja, it refers to our material dharma. That you can give up your material dharma provided you are coming to the way of spiritual dharma. Otherwise, you will give up material dharma also and you will not join the spiritual dharma also. Then that is not acceptable. Sarva Dharman Parityaja has a hidden condition that you can give up your material dharma provided you join the spiritual dharma. Remember, you can parityaja material dharma provided you take shelter of spiritual dharma and follow it strictly. Then God's guarantee is valid. Pratijane Birosimi. Moksha Shamashuja. All human concepts of duty, morality, identity are relative and often clouded by confusion, like Arjuna's was under confusion. Shri Krishna invites the seeker to transcend these limitations and take refuge, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, me alone. This is total surrender, where the individual places complete in the divine, complete trust in the divine. It involves letting go of ego, releasing anxiety about right and wrong outcomes, trusting divine wisdom completely, without any doubt. Shri Krishna then he assures, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami. I will liberate you from all your sins. Your sins include not only wrong actions, but also our ignorance is a sin, ajnan, our guilt, our inferiority complex, our karmic bondage. These are the sins, which God says, I will liberate you from all these sins. The final word, Ma Shucha, do not grieve, do not worry, are deeply comforting to us. God says, Chinta kyun karte ho? Don't worry, don't grieve. These words address the fundamental human condition of fear, doubt, and sorrow. Shri Krishna Bhagavan knows that these are the three factors which rule our life: fear, doubt, and sorrow. God says, Chhod do, give it up all, don't grieve. This shloka is revolutionary because it shifts the focus from self-effort alone to divine grace. God is promising His grace on us. While effort is important from devotees, ultimate liberation comes through surrender to God. In modern life, this teaching can be understood as letting go of excessive overthinking. ये करूंगा तो क्या होगा, वो करूंगा तो क्या होगा. Don't overthink. छोड़ दो. मां शुचो. Trusting a higher order in life. or acting sincerely without fear or failure, releasing guilt and self-judgment. So this shloka teaches us that complete surrender to God is the highest path, leading to liberation and freedom from all sufferings, and it is guaranteed by Krishna. Mahashusha. So with this great knowledge, then we go to the next shloka. Now, who should read Gita, who should not read, to whom should we tell Gita message, and to whom we should not? God says, Idante na tapaskayo na bhaktaya kadachana na ja shushrooshave vachan na cha mayo besuyati. No atapaskayo, not to one without austerity or self-discipline. No abhaktaya, not to a non-devotee. Ashushrooshave, one who is unwilling to listen, is ashushrooshave. Vacham should be spoken. Abhyasuyati, one who criticizes or has a habit of finding faults. Krishna Bhagavan ने ऐसा क्यों कहा, वैसा क्यों नहीं कहा? This is trying to find fault. Abhyasuyati. After revealing the highest knowledge in the earlier shloka, Sarvadharman Paritejya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Ahantva Sarvapapebhyo Moksheshyamashya. Now Krishna explains who is qualified to receive this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The shloka lists 4 types of people who are not ready for receiving this great divine knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And the earlier shloka as well, Sarvadharman Paritejya. First category, those without discipline. Atapaskaya. Spiritual knowledge requires inner preparation. Any Tom Dick Harry cannot say I am spiritual minded. It needs some preparation. Without self-control and effort, it cannot be understood deeply. So this is the prerequisite. Non-devotees, avaktaya. Without devotion, the teachings remain intellectual and do not transform the heart. Intellectually, you may understand, but if it is not entering your heart, you are a non-devotee then. Devotion is a requirement, prerequisite. Ashushrushave, unwilling to listen. A closed mind cannot receive the wisdom, no matter how profound it is. आप सुनना ही नहीं चाहते तो फिर क्या बताने का मतलब क्या है? No need. Ashushrushave, you are not willing to listen. And those who criticize, abhyasuyate. A negative or fault-finding attitude, it blocks the understanding. Everything you start questioning. Logical questioning is most welcome. Like Arjuna asked some logical questions in Gita, Krishna Bhagavan gave profound answers to all those questions. But some people have the habit of asking foolish, rubbish questions. So Krishna says, ऐसे लोगों को गीता मत बताइए. They are not fit to receive Gita knowledge. Shri Krishna highlights that the Gita's teachings are sacred and transformative. Sharing them with those who are not ready may lead to misunderstanding or misuse. God is giving one message, they will try to do another meaning of it, or they will misuse this knowledge. Let Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudrananja Parantava Karmani Pravaktani Svabha Pravarguni. This shloka, that there are 4 divisions of society, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They will say Gita is saying this, that society is divided into 4, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But next line is what? Gunani and Karmani Pravaktani. Not by birth, by your gunas and by your karmas. It is decided whether you are Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Not by birth. So when we discuss this shloka, we discuss in details as to how these 4 segments of society are valid in all countries, in all religions, whether it is Christian or Islam or anything. So people misunderstand Gita, that Gita is dividing the society. So this Krishna highlights that Gita's teachings are sacred and transformative, but sharing them with those may be dangerous because of their misunderstanding or their misuse. In practical terms, this teaches that cultivate humility and openness of your mind before you are ready to absorb Gita's knowledge. Develop discipline and sincerity and approach spiritual teachings with respect. It also reminds teachers to share knowledge responsibly, considering the readiness of the listener. If the listener is not ready to absorb that knowledge, then God says, don't waste your time. Now we are holding this Vivechan after you have already learned the shlokas in the classes. So you are ready for this knowledge. So this shloka teaches us that spiritual wisdom must be approached with devotion, discipline, and sincerity to be truly effective. In short, these shlokas, three shlokas what we studied, 65, 66, 67, these shlokas form the climax of Gita's teachings. Shlok 65 says, practice devotion and remembrance. Shlok 66, surrender completely to God. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam praja. And this shloka what we studied just now, understand the importance of readiness for this knowledge. Who is qualified to receive this knowledge? Together they present the ultimate path of bhakti, devotion, surrender, samarpan, and wisdom, jnana, leading to liberation and inner peace. Next shloka, 68. Yedam paramanguhyam madbhaktashvavidasyati bhaktim mayim parang krutva mame vaishyatya samshayaha. Yam is Sanskrit sarvanam. Yam is one who, idam, this means this teaching of Bhagavad Gita, param supreme secret, madbhakteshu, among my devotees, avidasyati, explains, teaches, bhaktim, devotion, param, supreme, asamshaya, without doubt. God says, one who shares this supreme secret teaching with my devotees, with devotion to me, will surely come to me. This is the reward of spreading Gita's message. In this shloka, Shri Krishna highlights the greatness of sharing the spiritual wisdom of Gita with sincerity and with devotion. The phrase idam paramam guhyam, it refers to the highest and most secret knowledge of Gita, teaching towards surrender, devotion, and nature of the self, our soul, our Atma. The differentiation between our soul and body, Kshetra Kshetra Vibhag Yoga also. These are not ordinary ideas, but profound truths that transform the life. Krishna says that one who Mad Bhakteshu Abhidasyati shares these teachings among my devotees performs a divine act, a sacred act. What I said 5,500 years back, if you are spreading that message now, thank you so much. You are performing a sacred act for me. Teaching here is not merely intellectual explanation of shlokas, but a heartfelt transmission aimed at uplifting others. So when we teach Gita to prisoners in jails, some of them start crying. They realize how they have wasted their life. So this kind of heartfelt transmission should take place. However, an important condition is added here, Bhakti Mayi Param Krutva. The teacher must be established in deep devotion to God. Otherwise, teacher is having only bookish knowledge. He is reading some books here and there, drawing some notes and telling, this is my thought. He should have deep devotion himself in his heart for God, for Krishna. He himself should be a Krishna Bhakta. Then only he is qualified to give Gita knowledge. Without devotion, teaching may become dry, ego-driven, or superficial. So no point in doing Vivechan without these three things. If you don't have deep devotion for God, no point in doing speaking any word about Gita. Your message will become dry. People will listen and forget about it. They will think this fellow is ahankari. He is egoistic. Or his knowledge is superficial. He has not himself experienced any of these shlokas what he is telling us. So true teaching flows from inner realization and love. People should have absorbed that knowledge in them, and at least to some extent they should have changed their life in line with this message of Gita. Then they are qualified. Why this is so? Because teaching reinforces one's own understanding. When we start teaching, we have to read a lot. Without reading, can we speak for 2 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes also? We have to do deep reading, different books, different places, discuss with different people, attend different vivations of other experts, take thoughts from them, then add our thoughts to that. All that we have to do. So teaching it reinforces our own understanding. That's why I urge all of you who have learned all 18 adhyayas of Gita, pick up any shloka and make a practice of speaking on that shloka for 15 minutes. Not for 2 hours, but for 15 minutes. You will realize that how much you have to read for speaking on one single shloka of Gita. But that will reinforce your own knowledge. So it is worth doing it. Secondly, it reduces ego by focusing on service. That I am offering service to all. I am spreading Krishna's message. So this surrenders our ego and it spreads positivity and wisdom in the world. Because ultimately Krishna's message. In practical life, this could mean explaining spiritual ideas to others in line with Gita's message, guiding someone in difficult times using this Gita Jnana wisdom, sharing teachings through discussion or writing. Even small efforts, when done with sincerity and devotion, are valuable. So this shloka teaches us that spreading spiritual wisdom with devotion is a noble and liberating act. It may lead you to liberation also. So this is the sacred act, as Krishna says. You're doing a great job, he says. Next shloka. This is another appreciation for people who are spreading Gita's message. After reading this shloka, you will know why people in Gita Pariwar are running one above the other for offering seva. दश तस्मात् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन्मे प्रियकृत्तमः भविता न च मे तस्मात् अन्यः प्रियतरो भुवि. न च तस्मात्, none other than him, priyakruttama, the most dear one who does the most dear act, manusheshu, among human beings, priyatar, more dear, bhuvi, in this world. Krishna says, there is no one among human beings who does more dear service to me than such a person, nor will there be ever another person more dear than this. So this task of spreading Gita's message, God is giving such a great importance to it. This shloka further elevates the importance of sharing Gita's teachings. Shri Krishna declares that no one is more dear to him than the person who spreads this knowledge of Gita. Now, spreads the knowledge of Gita does not only mean people who can speak about Gita, it also means people who are helping in the background. So our BC, GCs, takes, they are all sevis. They are also equally important. Krishna is happy with them also. The phrase Priyakruttamaha means one who performs the most beloved act. Among all forms of worship, service or devotion, teaching this wisdom is considered the highest. Because the same words what Krishna used 5,500 years back, you are using the same words and explaining his message to the public, to the common devotee. Why this is so significant? Because such a person, he helps others understand the purpose of life. When you start reading about Gita, you start getting clarity about what is the purpose of my life. Otherwise, till the time we don't read Gita, our purpose of life was earn money, enjoy the life. After knowing Gita, our purpose had changed. Secondly, it guides towards peace and liberation. All these two things, mental peace and moksha, liberation, were not heard of before Gita reading. We are introduced to these new definitions. What is peace and what is liberation, moksha? Thirdly, it contributes to the spiritual upliftment of the entire society. That's why on 16th of October, when new batch is starting, golden batch, target is to collect 1,000 Gita learners in that batch, rather 1 lakh Gita learners in one single batch. So this is the upliftment of society. Krishna also says that there will never be any priyataraha more dear than such a person. Now in this case, person is entire Gita Pariwar, not one individual. All people are involved. This timeless statement emphasizes the lasting value of this act of spreading Gita message. Importantly, this teaching is not about pride or superiority. It is about selfless service, Nishkam Seva. Who charges anything Gita Pariwar? Nobody. The person who shares knowledge does not do so for recognition, but out of compassion and out of devotion for Krishna. In modern time, this could include teaching spiritual texts, sharing wisdom through writing, through lectures, through discussion. If you can write articles in newspapers, most welcome, write. If you can give a lecture in your society, do it. For helping others understand these deeper truths of knowledge, truths of life, which Gita says. Such efforts, they create a ripple effect on the society, influencing many lives positively. It has a rippling effect. In family, one member attends, he goes home, he discusses with his family member, आज मैंने ये सीखा, आज मैंने वो सीखा. They also are willing to learn that. So this shloka also encourages devotees, seekers to become channels of wisdom. Not just passive learners, but channels of wisdom. It transforms spirituality from a personal journey to a collective upliftment. One member joins and then he says, all of us should learn. Then the whole family joins. There are classes wherein the grandfather, grandmother, parents and their children are sitting in the class. Whole family is attending in the class. So this shloka teaches that spreading divine knowledge is the highest form of devotion and the most priya, beloved service to Krishna. Now we should decide whether we should become that priya to Krishna, that we offer this service to anyone in the society who is willing to absorb this knowledge. Next shloka, further statement from God. अध्येष्यते चैवं धर्म्यं संवादमावयोः ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहमिष्टस्यामिति मे मतिः. Adhyeshyate means to study, to recite. Dharmyam, the writers, sacred. Samvadam, dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna. Jnana yajnana, this is the Jnana yajna, sacrifice of knowledge. Ishta, worshipped. Mati, opinion, belief. Krishna says, one who studies this sacred dialogue between you and me performs a sacrifice of knowledge. He performs a Jnana yajna and thereby worships me. Can there be any other simpler form of performing a yajna? Reading Bhagavad-Gītā. This simple book you have to read, and it becomes a jnana yajna. God says, you read Gita, and I consider that you are performing a jnana yajna for me. There cannot be any simpler way of performing any yajna in life. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna explains the value of studying and reflecting on Gita itself. The term Dharmam Sammadam refers to sacred dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. This dialogue is not just a historical conversation between two individuals, but a timeless guide to life of entire humanity. Krishna says that one who adhyeshyate, that means studies or recites this teaching, he performs a jnana yajna. Every day we can perform jnana yajna. Read Gita. Krishna says you are performing jnana yajna. In ancient times, yajnas, they involved rituals and offerings. Burn some fire, offer something in that. That was the yajna. Here Krishna redefines yajna as an intellectual and spiritual offering. He is not asking you to perform that rituals. Every day offer something in the fire. Studying sacred knowledge is a yajna. Reflecting deeply on that message is a yajna. Internalizing the teaching is a yajna. This is considered the highest form of worship because it leads to transformation of life. Not only yours, but others also. It transforms the mind, it transforms our understanding. Shri Krishna further says that through this jnana yajna, aham ishta syam, I am worshipped. You are worshipping me by reading Gita. This means that sincere study itself is an act of devotion. Reading Gita and doing contemplation, manan chintan on Gita shlokas is an act of devotion. God gives very, very high rating to it. This teaching is very inclusive. Not everyone may be able to teach others, but anyone can read Gita. उतना तो कर सकते हैं. Reflect on its meanings with the help of some experts or through YouTube or through books. Many videos are available and apply it in daily life. Take any shloka and try to apply it in the life. But before that, we should understand, absorb the meaning of that shloka. Like in third there is a shloka pertaining to daily habits of our day-to-day life. We say that I have given up doing this, but mentally you keep thinking about the same thing. Karmendriya Sayyamya Aste Mansaskaran Indrirathan Vimuratma Mithyacharas Uchyate. You are showing that I have full control on my senses. If I decide I will not eat, I will not eat. If I decide I will not see, I will not see. Okay, you are doing that, but yeah, Aste Mansaskaran. Mentally you are thinking about the same thing. So when we get this message from Paramatma that this is a mithyachar, then God says, you are not my devotee. You are doing mithyachar. Externally you are showing you are giving up this, but internally, mentally you are thinking about it. So these messages, if we apply in our life, definitely our heart becomes pure, mind becomes pure. So in modern life, this could involve daily reading of few shlokas of Gita, reflecting on their meanings, discussing them with others, applying their teachings in real situations. Like I said just now, Karmidana Sayam Asti Mansaswaran, if you are doing upvas, don't think of eating. Sayam means total Sayam. Not in Indriya Sayam, but Mana Nigraha also. Over time, this becomes a powerful spiritual practice. Like this, if you take another 2-3 shlokas and try to bring them in your day-to-day life, it becomes a very, very powerful spiritual practice for us. So this shloka teaches us that studying and reflecting on Gita itself is a sacred act of worship and a path to spiritual growth. So these 3 shlokas what we have studied, 68, 69, 70. 68 shloka taught us that Gita leads to liberation. 69, such a teacher is most dear to God. And this shloka 70, even studying the Gita is a sacred act. Together, they highlight that knowledge, when shared and lived, becomes a powerful form of devotion and service, benefiting both the individual as well as the society. Next shloka. Shraddhavananasuyascha shrunuyadapyo naraha sopi muktashvan lokan prapnuyat punyakarmanam. Shraddhavan, one with faith. Anasuya, free from jealousy or fault-finding attitude. Anasuya. Shrunuyat, listens. Mukta, liberated. Shubhan, lokan, auspicious world, that means heaven. Punya karmanam, of the righteous people. Now, after saying that people who spread this message, they are dearmost to Krishna and all that. Now, people who cannot read Sanskrit or they cannot understand the message so clearly or they cannot explain to others, what about them? They are not dear to Krishna? Krishna says, no, they are also dear to me. Even a person who listens to this teaching, you cannot read Sanskrit, okay, granted. But you can listen to it at least. So even a person who listens to this teaching with faith and without criticism, Shraddhavan and Anasuya, he becomes free and attains auspicious world, that means heavens. So even listening has this benefit. In this shloka, Shri Krishna highlights the power of faithful listening. While earlier shloka praised teaching and studying the Gita, here even listening is shown to be spiritually beneficial. Gita Pariwar app has all the 18 adhyayas of Gita. You can switch on your mobile and listen to it at least, isn't it? So the key qualities mentioned are Shraddhavan, आपका faith चाहिए, faith. Anasuya, absence of fault finding. Faith does not mean blind belief, but a sincere openness to understanding. It allows the teaching to enter the heart rather than being blocked by your doubt or by your cynicism. Anasuya is equally important. A person who constantly criticizes or finds faults cannot absorb deeper wisdom. He will only try to find out something here and there. A receptive and respectful attitude is essential. Krishna says that even one who simply listens in this spirit, Shraddha and Anasuya, Mukta, he becomes free. This indicates that transformation does not always require complex practices. Sometimes sincere listening itself can awaken inner change. So listening to Gita Vivechan itself is a great sadhana of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, I accept it as your sadhana. The phrase Shubhan Lokan Prapnayat, it suggests that such a person attains auspicious states, that means the heavens. This can be understood both spiritually, that means higher states of consciousness, and symbolically, a peaceful and righteous life. In practical terms, this shloka encourages listening to spiritual teachings with attention, avoiding unnecessary criticism, maintaining openness and humility. For example, attending a discourse, listening to a teacher, or even hearing a shloka with sincerity can have a deep impact on the listener. So this shloka teaches us that faithful and respectful listening itself is a powerful spiritual practice leading to purification and spiritual growth. Next shloka, 72. Kachchidadachyadam partha tvaikagrena chetasa kachchidadhyana sammoha pranashyaste dhananjaya. Arjuna, have you listened to this with a focused mind? Ekagrena chetasa kachchidadhyana sammoha pranashyaste. Has your delusion born out of ignorance been destroyed? Dhananjaya Arjuna. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna pauses for delivering the entire teaching and asks Arjuna an important question. I am talking for the last so many minutes, Arjuna. This moment is significant in Gita because it shifts the focus from teaching to assimilation and transformation. मैं बता रहा हूँ लेकिन आपको समझ में आ रहा है क्या? Are you thinking about it what I am speaking? That is what Krishna is directly asking Arjuna. So question, Kachid etachyutam ekagrena chetasa emphasizes the importance of attentive listening. एकाग्र चित्त से सुना है कि आपने मैंने क्या बोला वो? Knowledge is effective only when received with concentration. One way TV is going on and you're listening to Gita, that is not acceptable. A distracted mind cannot grasp the truth, deep truth. Shri Krishna then asks whether Arjuna's ajnana sammoha, delusion caused by ignorance, has been destroyed. At the beginning of Gita, Arjuna was confused, overwhelmed by emotions, and unable to act. His understanding was clouded at that time. The purpose of this entire teaching was to remove his confusion. Now Shri Krishna checks whether that purpose has been fulfilled. After telling him right from Shochanam Shochasam Pradyamadam Shabhasase Gadasmur Gadasmusha Nanushujan Padda and up to Sarvadaram Pariteja Mamikam Charanam Andva Surupapibhyo Moksha Shama. So this shloka highlights an essential aspect of learning, self-reflection. Gita suni hai, Gita padi hai, I have done some chintan mana. Now the time is to do self-reflection. It is not enough to hear or to read teaching. One must examine. Has my understanding changed? Has my confusion reduced? Am I now clear about my duty in life? In modern life, this applies to all forms of knowledge. Whether it is spiritual knowledge or practical learning, the goal is transformation, not just information. Many of us read everything for just grabbing information and passing it on WhatsApp. Does it transform you? Krishna's question also shows his role as a compassionate teacher. He does not assume success, but ensure that the student has truly understood. He also confirm a student, Arjuna in this case. Thus, this shloka teaches that true learning requires focused attention and leads to the removal of ignorance and confusion. Next shloka, Arjuna Vacha. Now let us see whether Arjuna has understood everything. Nashto mohasve labdha tattatha danmayachyutau sitosmita sandeha karishye vachanantavo. Arjuna says, my delusion is destroyed. Nashto moha, gaya mera sab confusion, delusion is destroyed. And I have regained clarity by your grace. Smritir labdha tat prasadat. Achyuta, Krishna Bhagavan. I am firm, sitosmi, and free from doubt, gata sandeha. And I will act according to your guidance. Karishye vachanantavo. This is the $1 million statement. Karishye vachanantavo. I will now do what you have asked me to do, as according to your statements, according to your teaching, according to your message. So this shloka marks the transformation of Arjuna. Arjuna, who was earlier saying, Gandhyam sasrate hastatpak chayi paradayate, naja shakno me vastatum brahmati veja manaha. Now he says, Sitosmi gatasandhya karishye vachanantav. The central outcome of Gita is this shloka. At the beginning, Arjuna was confused, fearful, and unwilling to act. Now he declares, Nashto moho, my delusion is gone. This shows that true knowledge removes emotional and mental confusion. He also says, Smriti Labdha. I have regained my memory. What memory? He had forgotten the purpose of life. That performing one's prescribed duty is the main objective of life. He had forgotten that. That is the loss of memory. Now that memory has been regained. Smriti Labdha. A memory does not mean recalling facts, but discovering one's true nature, true purpose of life, and true duty. Arjuna acknowledges that this transformation happened but prasadat, by your grace. This reflects humility of Arjuna and recognition of divine guidance from Krishna. The phrase Sitosmi indicates steadiness of mind now. His mind is no longer wavering. Gata Sandhya, all doubts are gone. This clarity is essential for taking decisive action. Finally, Arjuna says, Karishye vachanantavo. I will act according to your instructions. This is not blind obedience from Arjuna, but a conscious and willing decision based on the understanding which he has got after listening to this great divine knowledge from Krishna. So this shloka represents the ideal outcome of spiritual teaching. Confusion is replaced by clarity, doubt is replaced by confidence, inaction is replaced by purposeful action. In practical life, this transformation is highly relevant. When faced with difficult situations, difficult decisions, people often experience confusion and hesitation. Kare ki nahi kare. Through reflection, through guidance, and through inner clarity, they can reach a state where they can act with confidence and peace of mind. So this shloka teaches us that true knowledge leads us to clarity, steadiness, right action, guided by wisdom and free from doubt. This being the most important shloka of Gita, let us do meditation on this shloka. My delusion is destroyed. Nashto mosthi labdhat prasadam maichyuto stosmi dasandhya karishye vachananto. At the beginning of Gita, Arjuna was confused, as we know. Now he is out of that confusion. So this shloka marks the moment when confusion becomes clarity, weakness becomes strength, doubt becomes faith, and inaction becomes purposeful karma action. Sit with gratitude for the knowledge that we have got from Gita. Sit comfortably with your spine erect. Close your eyes gently. Take 3 slow deep breaths. As you inhale, feel divine grace entering your heart. As you exhale, release all your tensions. Mentally say, I am ready to receive wisdom. In next step, visualize Arjuna's journey. Imagine the battlefield of Kurukshetra in front of your eyes. See Arjuna at the beginning of Gita, confused, sad, afraid, unable to decide. Now imagine him after hearing Krishna's teachings. His posture is upright, his face is calm, his mind is clear. Observe the transformation. Tell yourself, just as Arjuna transformed, I too can transform. Third step, meditate on Nashto Moha. Focus on these words. My delusion is destroyed. Ask yourself, what confuses me? What fears hold me back? What attachments cloud my judgment? Visualize these worries as mist covering a mountain. Now imagine the rising sun of divine wisdom. The mist slowly disappears. Repeat mentally, may ignorance leave me. May truth become clearer to me. Remain silent for a few moments. In the next step, meditate on Smriti Labdha. These words mean my true understanding has been regained. In Gita, memory does not mean merely remembering the facts, but it means remembering the fact that who I truly am, what my duty is, what my values are, what God expects from me, and the fact that I am not this body, I am the soul in this body. Ask yourself, what important truth have I forgotten? Perhaps I am stronger than I think. God is always with me. I forgot this. Difficulties are temporary. Maybe I forgot this. Duty is greater than comfort. Maybe I forgot this. Allow these truths to arise naturally. In the next step, meditate on Tat Prasadat, your grace, by your grace. Reflect upon people and blessings that have guided your life. Your parents, your teachers, saints or swamis, scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, friends, or divine guidance. Feel gratitude for all of them. Mentally repeat, whatever wisdom I have is by God's grace. Allow humility to fill your heart. In the next step, meditate on Gata Sandeha. My doubts are gone. Imagine standing at a crossroad. One path is fear, other path is faith. Now imagine Krishna standing beside you. He gently points out towards right path. Feel confidence arising within you. Repeat, I choose faith over fear. I choose clarity over confusion. The next step, meditate on Sitosmi. I stand firm. Visualize yourself as a mighty mountain. Storms may come, winds may blow, yet the mountain remains steady. Feel stability in your mind. Feel strength in your heart. Silently affirm, I am calm, I am steady, I am rooted in truth. In the next, meditate on Karishye Vachanantava. Most important. I will act according to your guidance. Think of one duty you have been postponing. One responsibility you know you should perform. Offer it to Krishna. Say mentally, I will do what is right. I will act with courage. I will do my duty without fear. Feel determination replacing the hesitation. Now take 3 deep breaths. With each breath, repeat, inhaling wisdom, exhaling confusion. Inhale faith, exhale doubt. Inhale courage, exhale fear. In the concluding prayer, with folded hands, pray, O Lord Krishna, by your grace, may my ignorance be removed, my true knowledge, my true understanding be restored, my doubts disappear, and my heart become firm in righteousness. Like Arjuna, may I act with courage, devotion, and faith. Karishye Vachanantava, I shall live according to your divine guidance. Remain in silence for a minute, then slowly open your eyes. So there are the steps which you follow for meditating and bringing the shlokas in our heart deep. Next shloka, 74. Sanjayam vacha ityaham vasudevasya parthasya cha mahatmanah samvadamimam shrosham adbhutam romaharshanam. Vasudevasya of Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, Parthasya of Arjuna, Mahatmana, the great soul. Samvadam, dialogue, Ashrosham, I have heard. Adbhutam, wonderful. Romaharshanam, hair-raising, thrilling. Now Sanjaya says, thus I heard this wonderful and thrilling dialogue between Shri Krishna and the noble Arjuna, Mahatma Arjuna. Arjuna being called Mahatma here. In this sloka, Sanjay begins to describe his own experience of witnessing this sacred dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna. Sanjay was granted the divine vision, as we know, Divya Chakra, Divya Drishti, by sage Maharshi Vedavyas, allowing him to see and hear the events that are going on in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. As a result, he becomes a narrator of Gita to King Dhritarashtra. The shloka captures Sanjaya's emotion. He describes dialogue as Adbhutam, Adbhutam, wonderful, extraordinary, and Romaharshanam, so thrilling that it causes goosebumps. This shows that Gita is not just a philosophical discourse, but a deeply moving and transformative experience. The word Mahatmana for Arjuna indicates that despite his initial confusion, he is a noble soul worthy of receiving such profound knowledge. This reminds us that even great individuals can face doubt in their life, but their openness to guidance, it leads to their growth. Confused Arjuna has become Mahatma Arjuna now. Sanjay's role here is also important. He represents the listener and the narrator, symbolizing how spiritual wisdom is transmitted across generations. His reverence reflects the sacredness of the teaching of Gita. In practical terms, this sloka encourages us to approach spiritual teaching with wonder and with respect. When one listens with such feelings, the impact becomes deeper and deeper. So this sloka teaches us that Gita is a profound and awe-inspiring dialogue that transforms both speaker and the listener. It transforms both the speaker and the listener. Next sloka. व्यासप्रसादाच्युतर्वाणि तद्गुह्यमां परं योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्णात् साक्षात् कथयत स्वयं. By grace of Maharishi Vedavyas, I heard the supreme secret directly from Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, Yogeshwara. In this sloka, Sanjaya expresses gratitude for the opportunity to witness Gita. He acknowledged that it was only through the grace of Maharishi Vedavyas that he could hear this divine teaching. The phrase Vyasa Prasadat highlights the importance of a guru or a guide in spiritual learning. His prasad is a must. Without proper guidance, deeper truths may remain inaccessible. Sanjaya calls the teaching as Guhyam Param, the supreme secret. This indicates that the knowledge of Gita goes beyond ordinary understanding. It is not 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, that simple knowledge. It reveals the nature of the self, nature of duty, and nature of the divine. It also, Sanjay also refers Krishna as Yogeshwara, the Lord of Yoga. This emphasizes Krishna's role as the ultimate teacher who integrates all paths of yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana yoga. The word sakshat directly is significant. Sanjay is not repeating second-hand information. किसे सुना हो सुना रहा ऐसा नहीं है. He is direct witness. Sakshat Krishna. This adds authenticity and depth to his narration. That I have heard it directly from Krishna, not through any mediator. Sakshat Krishna. So this sloka highlights the importance of grace. Spiritual knowledge often comes through blessings of your guru. Guidance, a teacher or tradition helps in understanding, and direct experience, hearing or experiencing truth first hand. सुनी सुनाई बात नहीं, first hand. In modern life, this reminds us to value our teachers, to value the scriptures and the opportunities to learn. It also encourages humility, recognizing that knowledge is not achieved by effort alone. You need the grace of your guru. Thus, this sloka teaches that spiritual wisdom is received through grace, guidance, and direct experience of truth. Next sloka, 76. Rajan Samspritya Samadhyam Bhavatam Keshvarjanaya Punyam Rishyami cha Muhurmuhu. O king, king means Dhritarashtra here, remembering again and again. Samspritya, remembering it again and again, this wonderful and sacred dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I rejoice repeatedly. Samspritya, the dialogue he experiences joy again and again. Again and again. This shows that spiritual knowledge or teachings are not limited to the moment of hearing. They carry the effect for the whole of your life. And every time you become more, their value continues throughout reflection and throughout remembrance. The dialogue is described as punyam, sacred and purifying. Simply recalling it brings inner joy and upliftment. This highlights the power of memory in spiritual practice. Sanjay addresses King Dhritarashtra as Rajan, reminding us that he is narrating this experience to someone who did not witness it directly. Through Sanjay's narration, the king, and by extension, all listeners can also benefit. Though it did not change Dhritarashtra is another matter. The repeated joy, Hrishyami cha muhurmuhu, indicates that spiritual knowledge is not dry or intellectual, but deeply fulfilling. It brings ananda, it brings joy and inspiration. In practical life, this shloka suggests that revisiting spiritual teachings regularly, reflecting on their meaning, applying them in daily situations. For example, reading a shloka of Geeta daily or recalling its teaching during challenges can bring clarity and peace of mind. So this shloka teaches us that continuous remembrance of spiritual wisdom, it brings joy, it brings purification, and it brings inspiration to us. Next shloka 77. Tatcha sanspritya rupamatyadbhutam harehe vismayo me mahan rajan rishyami cha punah punah. Overwhelmed with emotions now, Sanjay. O king, remembering again and again, punah punah, that adbhut, most wonderful form of Krishna, is referring to Virat 2, 11th Adhyay. I am filled with great wonder and joy repeatedly, punah punah. In this shloka, Sanjay continues expressing the deep emotional impact of witnessing the divine events of Bhagavad Gita. He recalls Adbhutam Rupam, the extremely wondrous form of Krishna. This refers to Vishwarupa, the cosmic form, what we studied in 11th Adhyay, where Shri Krishna displayed his universal form containing all creations in a fragment of his body. The repetition, Smritya Samskritya, indicates continuous remembrance. Each time Sanjay recalls that divine vision, he experiences Mahan Vismaya, great amazement, and Rishyami, joy. This shows that spiritual experience, especially profound ones like Gita, leaves a lasting impression on you. Such experiences are not limited to a single moment, but continue to inspire and uplift whenever remembered. That's why every reading of Gita is a must. The combination of wonder, Vismay, and joy, Rishyami, is significant here. Wonder arises from recognizing something vast and beyond ordinary comprehension. That is wonder. While joy arises from connection with the divine. Through Gita, you are getting connected with the divine. Sanjay's experience also highlights the importance of divine vision and grace. He was able to witness such extraordinary events not by his own effort alone, but through the divine blessings. In practical life, this shloka suggests reflecting on higher truths or inspiring experiences, remembering moments of clarity or spiritual insight, and allowing such memories to uplift the mind. Even if one has not seen a cosmic form, we have not seen, of course, one can experience the glimpses of the divine in the nature. Vibhuti Yoga shows us how to take this anubhuti of Vasudevam Sarvaiti. You look at sun, you should remember God. You look at moon, you should remember God. You look at the ocean, you should remember the God. You see Ashwatha Vrikshanam. I am the Ashwatha Vriksha of all trees. You should remember God. Or any acts of kindness, you see, remember God. Recalling this can bring similar feelings of wonder and joy in us also. So this shloka teaches that remembering divine experiences or higher truths repeatedly, it fills the heart with wonder and joy, strengthening our spiritual awareness day by day. Now comes the last shloka. Yatra yogeshwara krishno yatra partho dhanurdharaha tatra shrirvijayo bhutir dhruva nitirmatir mama. Yatra, where? Yogeshwara, Lord of Yoga, Krishna Bhagavan. Dhanurdhara, archer, that means Arjuna. Shri, prosperity, fortune. Vijay, victory. Bhuti, welfare, growth. Dhruva, certain, constant. Niti, righteousness, ethics. Mati, mama, in my opinion, in my belief. Sanjay is making a declaration now. This is a direct declaration to Dhritarashtra that Kauravas are going to lose, Pandavas are going to win this war. He says, where Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, and Arjuna, the skilled archer, are present, there will surely be, Dhruva, surely be prosperity, victory, growth, and righteousness. This is my firm belief. Shri Vijaya Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Mama. So this is the final shloka of Gita, not only of this Adhyaya, but of entire Gita spoken by Sanjay, and serves as a powerful conclusion to the entire teaching of Gita. He declares that wherever there is Krishna, the Yogeshwar, Lord of Yoga, and Arjuna, the skilled warrior, there will be Shri, prosperity, Vijay, victory, Bhuti, growth, and Dhruva Niti, firm righteousness. This shloka symbolizes the union of two essential elements. One, divine guidance, which Krishna gives, and even effort and skill, which Arjuna is showing. Shri Krishna repeats wisdom, vision, and spiritual insight, while Arjuna represents action, karma, courage, and execution. Success in life requires both. It requires Jnana and Vidyan, both. We learn this from 7th Adhyaya also. Merely reading Jnana may not be very effective, provided to put it into practice, which is Vidyan. So if there is action without wisdom, it may lead to wrong outcomes. If there is wisdom without action, it remains ineffective, which can apne se bookish knowledge liya. The combination of both leads to true success and fulfillment. So you should have wisdom as well as action. You should have jnana plus karma, both. The terms used in this shloka reflect different dimensions of success. Shri, material and spiritual prosperity. Vijaya, success and endeavors. Bhuti, overall growth and well-being. And Niti, ethical and righteous conduct. Importantly, Sanjay emphasizes that such success is dhruva, certain and stable. It is not temporary or superficial, but grounded in righteousness. In modern life, this teaching is highly relevant. It suggests that decisions should be guided by wisdom and by ethics. Action should be performed with skill and with determination. Success should be aligned with higher values of life. For example, in any field, say business or education or personal life, combining clear thinking, that means what Krishna says, clear thinking and effective action, which Arjuna took, it leads to lasting success. Wherever there is Krishna, that means wherever there is clear thinking, and where is Arjuna, means wherever there is effective action, that leads to lasting success. This shloka also conveys a message of optimism and confidence. It assures that when one aligns with truth and acts with dedication, positive outcomes are inevitable. This shloka teaches us that the union of divine wisdom, jnana, and sincere human effort, karma, leads to prosperity, victory, and righteousness. So these two shlokas, what we have studied, 77, remembrance of divine brings wonder and joy, and shlok 78, which we concluded just now, the union of wisdom and action, it ensures success and righteousness. Together, they summarize the essence of Gita. Live the awareness with the divine, live with the awareness of divine, act with clarity and courage, and success aligned with righteousness will naturally follow. Now, the title of today's Vivachan was God says in this Adhyaya, in the slokas that we have studied today, God says, leave it to me. And then, what is the secret to a worry-free life? This final portion of 18th Adhyaya, what we have studied, concluded just now, it contains one of Krishna's most comforting messages. After explaining dharma, karma, and knowledge, and devotion, and renunciation, sannyas, and the nature of three gunas, sattva, Krishna finally tells Arjuna where true peace can be found. Surrender to divine and trust him completely. In 62nd shloka, what we studied, Tamev Viranam Gacha Sarvabhavena Bharata. Tat Prasadat Param Shantim Sthanam Prapsi Shashvatam. Take refuge in him with your whole being. By his grace, you will attain supreme peace and eternal abode. This is the foundation of worry-free life. Tamev Sharanam Gacha. Surrender does not mean giving up your karma. It means giving up the anxiety about the outcomes of your karma. We must perform our duties sincerely, wholeheartedly, but recognize that the final result is not entirely in our hands. Shri Krishna then gives Arjuna the ultimate teaching in Shloka 66, what we studied today. Sarva dharman parityajya mami kam sharanam braja ahantva sarvapapebhyo moksheshyamashya. I like this slok the most in Bhagavad-Gītā. In my Krishna temple at home, I have put this painted in broad letters at the top of my temple. Sarva dharman parityajya. So abandon all forms of dependence and take refuge in me alone. I shall liberate you. Do not grieve, Ma Shucha. The words Ma Shucha, do not worry, are particularly powerful for us. Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have done your thinking, you have understood your responsibility, now trust me. But leave it to me does not mean or should not be misunderstood as do nothing. Leave it to me does not mean do nothing. Arjuna still has to fight the war. Surrender here means do your best, offer your effort to God and accept the result. Remain peaceful. So shlokas 67 to 71, what we have studied today, they remind us that this wisdom should be shared with those who are receptive and sincere. Listening to and studying the Gita itself becomes a spiritual practice. It becomes a dhyana yajna. Finally, in 72nd and 73rd shloka, Krishna asks Arjuna whether his confusion has disappeared. Arjuna replies, Karishye vachanantavo. I shall do as you say. This is transformation. This is transformation. At the beginning, Arjuna was overwhelmed by fear and confusion. After listening to Krishna, he regains clarity and confidence. God did not fight the battle. Krishna did not fight the battle for Arjuna. God gave Arjuna the wisdom and the courage to fight his own battle. So all of us have to fight our own battle. Guru can only give us guidance. A small child was traveling with his father on a train. The child kept worrying about their luggage. Papa, what if someone takes our bags? The father smiled and said, I am here. Why do you worry? You do not have to worry, Ma Shucha. Just enjoy the journey. Look outside the window and enjoy the scene. The child immediately relaxed and began looking outside the window. The luggage was still there. The train was still moving. Nothing outside had changed. But the child's anxiety, it disappeared because he trusted his father. This is the essence of Krishna's message to us. Main hu na. Why do you worry? Ma Shucha. We have our responsibilities. We have our difficulties. We have our uncertainties of life. But when we sincerely do our duty and place the result in the hands of God, the burden of unnecessary worry becomes lighter. When we do our job, God says, leave it to me, remaining things I will do. So what is the secret of worry-free life? Leave it to me alone does not mean leave your duty. It means leave your anxiety about the result. Work with sincerity, think with clarity and with courage, act with courage, and surrender with faith, and accept the result with peace. This is the beautiful secret contained in this concluding shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. Do your best, trust God with rest, Ma Shucha, don't worry. Do your best, trust the God with the rest, and Ma Shucha, don't worry. This is the formula for your ultimate happiness in life, worry-free life. And perhaps the most beautiful message is found in 70th shloka, what we concluded just now, last shloka, Yatra Yogeshwara. Wherever there is Krishna's wisdom and Arjuna's dedicated action, there will be victory, prosperity, righteousness, and firm morality. When we do our part and leave the rest to divine, worry gives way to peace, fear gives way to courage, and confusion gives way to clarity. This is how we can have a worry-free life actually, with Gita's help. Now, as I said, we can take a quick review of all 18 adhyayas of Bhagavad Gita, what we have studied. Gita literally means Song of God, one of the most spiritual and philosophical masterpieces ever written in any religion. It formed the part of Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata, composed by Maharishi Vedavyas. The Gita consists of, as we know, 18 adhyayas and 700 shlokas, presented as a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Although the setting is a battlefield, the Gita is essentially a guide to the battlefield of human life. Every individual faces conflicts between duty and emotion, success and failure, attachment and detachment, fear and courage. Lord Krishna's teaching provide timeless guidance for living wisely, performing one's duties selflessly, and ultimately realizing one's divine nature. The 18 adhyayas gradually lead the devotee, the seeker, from confusion to clarity like Arjuna, from despair to confidence, from ego to complete surrender to God. In first adhyaya, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the Gita begins dramatically as the armies assemble on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna asks Sri Krishna to place his chariot between the two armies. Looking around, he sees his revered teachers, his beloved relatives, friends, and well-wishers preparing to fight. Overcome by grief and compassion, Arjuna's courage collapses. His body trembles. His mouth runs dry. His famous Gandiva slips from his hands, and he refuses to fight. Nayotsidha Govindam, I will not fight. His arguments appear noble. He speaks about family values, about social order, and about compassion. But underneath lies his emotional confusion. He forgot about his prescribed duty, kartavya karma. This adhyaya teaches us that spiritual growth often begins when a person honestly admits confusion and he seeks higher guidance. So despair can become a doorway to wisdom when it inspires sincere inquiry, which Arjuna had. Second adhyaya is Sankhya Yoga. This adhyaya is the foundation of entire Bhagavad Gita, Sankhya Yoga. Krishna first reminds Arjuna that the soul, that means Atma, is eternal. Naina Chinda Shastrani, Nainandi Pavaka, and all the shlokas. The body is born and dies, but the self neither takes birth nor perishes. Krishna then introduces Karma Yoga in this adhyaya, the art of performing one's duty without attachment to success or failure. Karmani Vadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Udachana. He teaches equanimity. Samatva Yoga Uchyate, he says in this adhyaya. Pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat. You have equanimity. That means you should prepare your mind in equanimity for both the results, favorable or unfavorable. The adhyaya concludes with description of Sthita Prajna, one great definition of which only Gita has, Sthita Prajna. The person with steady wisdom who remains calm, contented, and free from selfish desires. So know your true self, perform your duty, and remain balanced in every situation with the teaching of second adhyaya, Sankhya Yoga. Third adhyaya is Karma Yoga. Arjuna wonders why action is necessary if knowledge is superior. Arjuna misunderstood that if knowledge is superior, why should I get into this ghastly karma of fighting a war and killing people? Krishna then explains that no one can remain inactive even for a moment. Naikashchi kshanamapi jatu tishthyate karma krut. Action is inevitable. The real question is whether actions are performed selfishly or selflessly. Selfish actions, they create bondage, while actions performed as an offering to God, they purify our mind. Krishna introduces the concept of yajna, teaching that work performed for the welfare of society becomes sacred. Yajna arthat karmo netra lokoying karmandana. He also identifies desire and anger as the greatest enemies of human being. Kama esha krodesha rajoguna samadbha mahashano mahapapma vidhin mahiviranam. So perform every duty selflessly as worship without selfish attachment was the message of Karma Yoga, third Adhyaya. Then comes fourth Adhyaya, Dhyana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Shri Krishna reveals that this eternal wisdom has been handed down through generations. I give to Surya, Surya give to Ikshvaku, Ikshvaku give to Manu, all that. And he incarnates whenever righteousness declines. Yada yada dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhitam dharmasya. He explains the purpose of divine incarnation. After taking incarnation, what does he do? To protect the righteous, destroy evil, and re-establish dharma. Various forms of yajna are explained in this. 12 types of yajna has been explained in this. They are there, culminating in the declaration that knowledge is the highest sacrifice. Jnana yajna is the best. And we just concluded that they are saying that if we read Gita, that itself is Jnana yajna. So the best that they were performing by reading Gita, because it destroys ignorance completely. In short, wisdom transforms action into worship and removes ignorance is the message of fourth Adhyaya, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Then comes fifth Adhyaya, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Shri Krishna compares renunciation of action with selfless action and concludes that Karma Yoga is most practicable for most people. Real renunciation is internal, not external. By wearing saffron clothes, you don't become a sannyasi. Renunciation has to be internal. One need not abandon family or profession. One must abandon ego and attachment. That is a renunciation. The wise person sees the same divine in all beings, regardless of social status and appearance. Vidyavini sampanne brahmane gavasini shurichaiva shvapakecha pandita samadarshanaha. Again equanimity. So true freedom comes from inner detachment while fulfilling outer responsibilities. Then comes sixth Adhyaya, Atma Sanyam Yoga. Krishna explains how to discipline the mind through meditation. Yogeshwar himself teaches us yoga in this Adhyaya. He describes proper posture, how to sit, moderation in food, yukta ahara vyarasya yukta chestasya karmasu, moderation in food, in sleep. Another important, the importance of regular practice. When Arjuna complains that controlling mind is very difficult, Krishna agrees, but assures that the mind can be mastered through abhyas and vairagya. Abhyas and vairagya, practice and detachment. The Adhyaya concludes by declaring that among all yogis, the greatest is the devotee who constantly remembers God. So a disciplined mind becomes the greatest friend of seeker. That shloka teaches us that if our mind is disciplined, then that is our greatest friend. But if it is not, then it becomes our greatest enemy as well. Seventh Adhyaya, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Shri Krishna begins revealing his divine nature. He explains two types of energies: material nature, apara prakriti, and spiritual consciousness, para prakriti. Everything arises from him, exists in him, and ultimately returns to him. People approach God for different reasons, but the highest devotee is the wise one who loves God simply because he knows God's true nature. So this Adhyaya says that God is both the source and the inner essence of entire universe. Then comes the wonderful Adhyaya of Akshar Brahma Yoga, 8th Adhyaya. Arjuna asks about what is Brahma, what is Karma, and about the state of consciousness at the time of death. Shri Krishna teaches that one's final remembrance, it reflects one's lifelong habits of thought. You remember only that thing which you have cultivated throughout your life. If you are talking about money throughout your life and you are expecting that suddenly at the last moment of your life you will remember God, Krishna says that is not going to happen. Therefore, constant remembrance of God throughout life is essential. He also explains the imperishable nature of Brahma and the spiritual destiny of those who remember him with unwavering devotion. Those who attain him. Abrahma Bhuna Loka Punaravartino Jana Mama Pitta Konteya Punarjanma Na Vidyate. Up to Brahma Loka, whosoever goes, he has to again come back. But once you attain Paramatma, Shri Krishna Bhagavan, Punarjanma Na Vidyate. There is no rebirth again. You become one with the God. Then comes ninth Adhyaya, Rajvidya Rajagu Yoga. This chapter reveals the art of Krishna's teachings. He explains that he pervades the entire universe while remaining beyond it. God lovingly accepts even simplest offering. Patram pushpam phalam toyi yam bhakta prijati tadam bhaktu pratham ashtami preratmanaha. A leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even a drop of water, when offered with sincere devotion, God says, thank you very much. He lovingly accepts it. Shri Krishna assures devotees that no sincere effort is ever wasted, and that even those with troubled past, papi se papi admi bhi, can attain him through wholehearted devotion. So loving devotion is the simplest and most direct path to God. That is what we learn from 9th Adhyaya. 10th Adhyaya is Vibhuti Yoga. Krishna describes his manifestations throughout the creation. Among mountains is Himalaya, among rivers is Ganga, among lights is the sun, among sages is Maharishi Vedavyas, and among warriors is Shri Ram. These examples help us perceive God in his greatness, in his beauty, in his wisdom, and his strength present throughout the cosmos, throughout the universe. So we start looking God everywhere after reading this Adhyaya. That means every excellence in creation, it reflects a spark of God's infinite glory. That is Vibhuti Yoga. Then comes the wonderful 11th Adhyaya, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Shri Krishna grants Arjuna Divya Chakshu, divine vision, to behold his cosmic form. Arjuna sees countless universes, celestial beings, infinite forms, and entire cosmos within Krishna. He also witnesses time-consuming all warriors, emphasizing that birth and death are a part of divine order. All are entering into fire-emitting mouths of Krishna, including Pitama, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, all. Filled with awe, humility, and devotion, Arjuna completely surrenders. So God is infinite cosmic reality, governing all existence and time itself. Nothing is beyond God. Then comes Bhakti Yoga. Arjuna asks whether to worship the personal form of God or the formless absolute. What is superior? Nirgun Nirakar or Sagun Sakar? Krishna explains that both paths ultimately reach him, but devotion to personal form, that means Sagun Sakar form, is easier for most devotees. He describes the qualities of his beloved devotees from Shlok 13 to 19, 39 attributes of his beloved devotees. Bhaktos me priya. He has explained free from hatred, adveshta sarvbhutanam, and all that, compassionate, humble, forgiving, content, fearless, and firmly established in faith. So highest devotion is expressed through noble character and unconditional love, was the teaching of Bhakti Yoga, 12th Adhyaya. Then comes a slightly difficult to understand Adhyaya, Gita, Kshetra Kshetra Vibhaga Yoga. Shri Krishna distinguishes between Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetra is body, and the knower of body is Kshetrajna. The body constantly changes, but the self remains eternal. He also explains Prakriti, nature, and Purush, spirit, showing how ignorance causes the soul to identify with the body, and that is why the soul keeps getting different bodies in different lives and keeps suffering, because he identifies himself with body. So liberation begins when we recognize ourselves as eternal witness rather than the temporary body. This is a great teaching of this Adhyaya. Then comes Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, 14th Adhyaya. Krishna explains the three gunas that govern the human nature. Sattva, purity, harmony and wisdom. Rajas, activity, ambition and desire, kamana. Tamas, ignorance, laziness and delusion. These qualities influence our thoughts, our emotions and our behavior. The seeker must cultivate sattva and ultimately transcend all the three gunas, become gunatit, because this Adhyaya teaches us that even sattva guna puts you under bondage. Through devotion, you can transcend all these three gunas. So observe the gunas without becoming enslaved by them. Follow sattva guna, but don't get enslaved by sattva guna also. Sattva guna minus kartatva bhiman, sense of doership, and minus expectation of return and reward is equal to becoming gunatit. Then comes 15th chapter. God introduces himself. Who am I? Purushottam Yoga. Shri Krishna compares worldly existence to an inverted Ashwatha Vriksha. Urdhumula Shakam Ashwattham Prahoravim. Trees whose roots are above and branches below. The tree symbolizes our worldly attachments. The seeker must curse the tree with the X of detachment. Nirman Moha Disangadosha Adhyatmatya Mirtakama. Vidimukta Sukhudev Gachanti Muda Padam Ventat. And seek the Supreme Person, Purushottama, who is beyond both perishable world and individual soul. God says there are two types of Purush. One is Kshar Purush, perishes. Another is Akshar Purush, who never perishes. But Uttam Purush Tanya, Uttam Purush is different than these two, whom we call Purushottama, that is Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Then comes 16th chapter, Devasur Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. Krishna contrasts the divine qualities, which are in the first three shlokas. There are 26 divine qualities explained. That is called Devi Sampatti, fearlessness, Avayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Gursi, Dhanadam Shuddhi, Swadhyasthaparjam, fearlessness, truthfulness, compassion, humility, self-control, and remaining Adhyaya is devoted to demonic nature, demonic qualities such as pride, anger, greed, hypocrisy, cruelty, and all that. He identifies lust, anger, and greed as the three gates leading to self-destruction, to the hell. Trividan Narakasyadan Dwaran Nashamatmana, Kama Krodastha Lobas Tasmat Dita Trayantaja. So we should avoid this calm, krodha, and lobe, lust, anger, and greed. These are the gateways to hell, self-destruction. Spiritual wisdom should guide one's conduct. So this Adhyaya, it shapes the destiny. Cultivate divine virtues every day. Then comes Shraddhatari Vibhaga Yoga. Faith reflects one's inner nature. Shri Krishna explains that faith, food, worship, austerity, and charity are all influenced by three gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo. Shri Krishna concludes by explaining the significance of Om Tat Sat. What is the meaning of Om Tat Sat? Symbolizing the highest spirit behind righteous action. Om Tat Sat, it's a Veda Vakya. Yes, that is the ultimate truth. Om Tat Sat. Tat means that. Sat means Satya, truth. There is only one truth, that is Paramatma. So the purity of one's intention is more important than the external ritual. That is the message of that Adhyaya, 17th Adhyaya. And thus, Moksha Sannyas Yoga, what we concluded today, this final Adhyaya summarizes the teaching of entire Gita. Shri Krishna explains three types of the nature of renunciation, sannyas, duty, karma, knowledge, jnana, action, karma, intellect, determination, dhriti, happiness, sukha, and devotion. Finally, he gives supreme instruction. Abandon all forms of limited dependence and take refuge in me alone. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam charanam brajo. I shall liberate you from all sins. Do not grieve. Ahantva swarupapebhyo moksheshyama. Arjuna's confusion disappears. His faith is restored. He declares that his doubts have vanished and that he is ready to perform his duty. Karishya vachanantava. The Gita ends with the assurance that wherever there is divine wisdom, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Mitra Bhardo Dhanurdra Tatra Shri Vijo Bhutir Dhruva Nitirmatirmama. Wherever there is divine wisdom, that means Krishna, and wherever there is righteous action, that means Arjuna, there will always be victory, prosperity, and peace. So complete surrender to God combined with faithful performance of one's duty, it leads to ultimate liberation. We stop here. Now the forum is open for you to raise your questions. Thank you so much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you. As always, very enlightening session, Bhayaji. And you gave us a practical solution and how to, practice meditation using some of the Gita shlokas. That's really wonderful. We are forever grateful to you. Before we take the question and answer, just a quick announcement. The 50th Golden Badge will be starting soon. We can be a part of this beautiful milestone by registering online at online.learngeeta.com/golden50, and also L2 Samskrita grammar classes in various languages are scheduled for tomorrow. Please join a session of your choice to enhance your Samskrita knowledge. Now, time for Q&A. And people who are joined through YouTube live stream are requested to join through Zoom link in case you have questions to ask. So, yes. Yeah. Jai Shri Krishna. Harihara Bhayaji.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Yes, Bhaiya. I have
Yes.
got a question. Yes. Somebody
Yes,
who
please.
is very mighty and powerful is doing
Ah.
some injustice to you.
Hmm.
How to tackle that and how to come out of that?
See, Gita doesn't say you should not retaliate. On the contrary, Gita says that if somebody is doing injustice to you, you should fight it out. Like Arjuna was advised by Shri Krishna.
But I said he is very mighty and powerful.
Yeah, mighty and powerful does not mean you should not protest.
Right.
Raise your voice in whatever possible forum you can.
Right, Bhaiya.
But be ready for the consequences. Otherwise, you can keep quiet and do nothing. But then, that is not the teaching of Gita. Gita says wherever you find injustice, you should at least raise your voice. Whether it is heard or it is not, it is up to God. But you should raise your voice.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate to raise your voice.
Bhaiya,
Raise it
thank you.
intelligently. Raise it intelligently, indirectly, so that your name doesn't come directly. But do it. Somehow do it. Spread that message to different people. Ask some strong person to raise voice against that other strong person.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Didiji, Jai Shri Krishna. Please go ahead and
Jai
ask.
Shri Krishna Didi, Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Krishna.
My question is, you in one of the stanzas, it's described which people are not ready to receive the knowledge or the Bhagavad Gita teachings. I am a person, I am a mother whose kids are grown. We've grown in a different, they've grown up in a different culture. And while they have the bhakti, for the most part, I think my children are agnostics. They're not as rooted in bhakti as I was fortunate to have been by my parents. So somewhere I did something that my parents didn't do. So for me now, they're too old for me to teach them. How do I know if I can still talk to them? You said don't talk to people who are not ready to, if they argue with me or something like that. They don't argue, but they're good kids. But how do I know whether I can still pursue that with them?
So since they are so intimately related to you as your sons only, so you should definitely make a try because they respect you. They respect your word. So your word carries the weight. So try to convince them that look at me, look at my behavior, my character, my life. I found a lot of peace of mind after I started studying Gita, after I started listening to Gita Vivations, and after I started meditating, if you're doing meditation on Gita shlokas. So convince them to try it at least for a few days. If they understand it, and even if they spend a couple of weeks, bring them to this Gita session for one day, let them ask whatever questions they have in mind. You tell them that you give me only 1 hour, you listen to that, and you ask whatever questions you have in mind. If you don't get clarified on those questions, and if you're not fully satisfied, you do whatever you want. Karishya Vachanantava, whatever Arjuna says, then you can do whatever you want. They will definitely say Karishya Vachanantava. They will definitely say this. That they will follow this Gita path only. Like Arjuna said, after so much of confusion in life. But we have to bring them to the right path, and that only you can do it.
Yes, because I feel my mother was with me for 33, 37 years. So she was a big influence on my children. So they really respected her, and whatever she said, they would do. But she is no more. And so that responsibility now is mine. They don't have the time. They have little babies. They don't have the time to dedicate like I do. But I still feel it's my responsibility. And I'm like, am I putting this on myself, or is it a true feeling? That's what I'm battling
No,
with.
this feeling is
So,
very genuine, and it should be definitely cultivated more and more. But at the same time, those young generations who are living their professional life, we should not expect that they will fall in line with our thinking immediately,
right.
because their priorities in life are different at the moment.
Yes.
So tell them that both lives can be lived parallelly. Spirituality does not mean you should give up your family life. You can enjoy your family life, but spare a thought for spirituality. Read a slok of Gita. That's all. Don't expect that you spend hours reading Gita or Vishnu Sahasranama or some other scripture. But tell them to spend at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That is enough for the time being. When they start developing love themselves, then they will come this way, definitely. So
Thank you,
beginning has to
Bhaiya.
be
Jai Shri.
a small
Yeah.
way. Make a beginning in a small way.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Krishna. Bhaiya. Jai Shri.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Others, Jai Shri Krishna. Please go
Jai
ahead.
Shri Krishna. Yeah, my question is that how do you identify a person who is finding fault in scriptures and a person who is seeking clarification?
See, a person who is asking irrelevant questions, like Krishna's message is there in Gita. Some people ask funny question. The Krishna who was playing in Vrindavan and Mathura, that Krishna and the Krishna who told Gita to Arjuna are the same person or they are different Krishnas? Now this doubt is a foolish doubt. How can you explain? But if somebody asking a question about karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kudachana ma karmule utur mate sango sugaramani, that you don't focus on the result of karma, but focus on the karma. So one may ask a genuine question that if I don't keep my sight on the result of my karma, my interest in performing karma may reduce on the contrary. So this is genuine doubt that all of us think before starting a karma, what will I gain by doing this karma? Krishna says you give up that. So some people find it difficult to digest this idea that how can I give up my return reward expectations and focus only on karma. So this is a genuine doubt, and this need to be deliberated. This need to be explained in proper words to him. So such doubts are genuine. They are most welcome.
Yeah, my next question is that a person who is following the karma yoga or a jnana yoga will have less of devotion or may not have a devotion.
See whether it is jnana yoga
He
or
may
karma
not
yoga.
follow bhakti yoga. So does he fall into the category of 18.67 non-devotee?
No, no, not at all. See, the purpose of Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, that means second Adhyaya, and Karma Yoga, which is explained in second Adhyaya partly, third Adhyaya, and fourth Adhyaya partly. Following these two yogas, the main objective is purification of thoughts, purification of mind, purification of heart. Once your heart is purified, the bhakti take the seed automatically. Everything culminates in the bhakti ultimately, whether it is jnana or karma. Your trust in God, your faith in God increases so much that the bhakti automatically rises in you. Jnana yoga and karma yoga, they purify your mind. And bhakti can take roots only in the purified mind. So they are tools to obtain bhakti.
How much time does this take?
See, that sensation comes automatically in you. If you read Gita for 6 months and you start contemplating on the important shlokas of Gita, it will start taking roots in your mind. That bhakti will start taking roots. You will start seeing Krishna everywhere. You will start remembering Krishna's in all difficult situations and in happy situations as well. This is the starting of bhakti for Krishna.
Okay, but yeah,
But
one question.
study is essential.
Yeah, one more question that people normally seek blessings from God, which are kind of out of turn or non-deserving. And how do you justify that? sometimes people say that I got this thing with the blessings of God.
You see,
Is
God
this
knows better
not
than us.
unfair to other set of people?
No, not at all. See, we can keep on asking the moon. It is for God to decide what to give us, isn't it? He knows better what to give us and what not to give us. It all depends on our past karmas. What he does is only he is giving us the karma phala at the appropriate time. Some people performing very sinful act, sometimes we see them getting rewarded and flourishing in materialistic life. So we start wondering, अरे ये आदमी इतना पापी है, why is flourishing so much? God is doing some injustice. But it is the karma phala of his past karmas. Whatever bad he is doing now, he will face the music in future. Sometime he has to face. No karma goes unnoticed. No karma phala goes without unpaid. Every karma is paid by karma phala. But at what time, that is not in our hands.
But there is one problem in this theory, that the person who is being punished sometimes for his past karmas doesn't know that he's being punished for that act. Which is,
No, he will never know.
in a way, if a judge gives a judgment, judge tells you that this is the reason you've been punished for. So why is it not being made transparent to a person that this act?
Let me say, you have to bring memory from your past lives. In past life, I have killed somebody. That's why I'm getting punished in this life. But when our death takes place, God washes out, He cleanses our entire memory of us. We don't only change the body, but even our memory goes off. And that is a blessing in disguise, I would say. If we keep remembering our past lives for last 10 lives, if we remember our past 10 wives, or past 10 husbands, or past 100 children, we'll go mad, no?
Right, okay,
एक
thank
लाइफ
you.
में डिफिकल्ट होता है अभी सब फैमिली संभालना. If we have the burden of 10 families coming on our mind, so it's a blessing in disguise that we forget everything at the time of death.
Right, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's the question. I know it's like $1 million question, and answered by Vikas Vaidya Bhayaji so beautifully. Sometimes when that doesn't have an answer, it is definitely something to do with our karma phala. I think, that sometimes I get those questions too. Yeah, thank you, Bhayaji, for beautifully resolving that. KRM Rao, Bhayaji, you had raised your hand. Did you have a question? Yes, you had raised your hand. Did you have a question, Bhayaji?
I could not able to reach.
We can you speak a little loud?
Namaskar, sir. Can you hear me?
Namaskar. Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Last week you told me what is Swadharma. Then immediately I attended that June meeting, and I have one call from our Guruji to attend as volunteer work. Now that has been successfully completed. We are giving some certificates to all the students, those who have secured 95%. My duty is only to serve water for the people. That's our over. But now there is a upcoming is there. Geeta, we have to teach them. That I am interested to. Just if time is there, I will. There are some books I have to purchase. That is in Sanskrit only. For all the students, we have to teach Geeta and through Dhyan. First we'll teach Dhyan. Then finally we have to give Geeta Dhyan also. Like that they told. Tomorrow also Sunday they will tell something. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you. If there is any other question, we're not. And yes, it is according the chat messages also. Bhayaji, session was very meaningful and full of wisdom. Yes, 100%. Yeah, yes. Thank you so much. And if there's no other question, we'll move forward with the session. Yes, I would like to thank today's tech star, Shri Sunil Pitaleji Bhayaji, for coordinating so beautifully, and our entire technical team who has been supporting us all along, and the devotees who attended today's session. May the clarity that we gained through this Vivechan session stay with us as we return to our daily responsibilities. May the Gita continue to inspire us and guide us in every step we take. Let us thank Bhagavan Shri Krishna for constantly lighting our path and for steering this session towards such successful completion. I would like to request Srimati Vijayalakshmi Ammalji to say the Prarthana. Vijayalakshmi ji is a retired teacher from Kerala associated with Geeta Pariwar since April 2024. Didi ji is offering seva as a tech star and also as a group coordinator. Jai Shri Krishna, Vijayalakshmi Bhai, Didi ji. Vijayalakshmi Didi, Jai Shri Krishna.
Things are some problem is there.
Yeah. So we'll take the prayer, and Vijayalakshmi is also with us. Didi ji is also with us. Yes. Let us do the prayer. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Veeram Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now let us all recite Hanuman Chalisa. Seek the divine protection and blessings of Lord Hanumanji.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समबाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सगावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब वीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
जय श्री राम, जय हनुमान, जय श्री कृष्ण। सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु। सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम